Overnight on the town wouldn't do us any harm. Overnight on the town wouldn't do us any harm. Overnight on the town wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind. And we'll roll the old. We'll roll the old. We'll roll the old. And we'll all hang on behind.
Swagadellic, Bradley Garcia.
Yes, sir.
I'm Rattlesnake Roy. The Chris Vargas is not here. He's doing some extra special business, which we can talk about after the podcast. I actually want to tell y'all after the podcast, but we're here on a Friday night making it happen. We have no other choice.
Yeah.
What's up, boys?
Dude, I'm just happy to be alive. It's a privilege to be here in America, in Texas, talking shit with you guys.
Yes, sir, it is, man. It definitely is. I would not want to do this in any other place. Not even any place in America. So thanks, guys, for being here.
Connecticut.
Yeah. PC. Political correctness.
All that bullshit.
We don't need all that, right?
Yes, sir.
We just be ourselves. That's the recipe. So what does being yourself mean, Roy? What is it to you?
That's a tough recipe because there's a lot of things that I like. I kind of have been valuing integrity and being who I am, but sometimes I think you have to sell your soul a little bit to be successful. Not all the way, but I think sometimes you do, and I'm struggling with that balance right now because being who I am is not good enough to start getting money. So that's why I'm like, fuck.
If we were talking about this earlier, if Hollywood came knocking and you had to be a part of certain cults, would you do it?
Not if it's satanic cult, no. No, because the actual secret societies aren't things of darkness. The real ones are not.
So what's the purpose of the darkness cultures? Like what's...
So in my opinion, a lot of it is a cloak. It's like to scare you away. If you're not a true seeker, you're going to turn away at the first sight of anything that's scary or anything that's spooky. So the truth is cloaked in darkness, you know?
Yeah.
But also the darkness looks like darkness too. So it's a slippery slope.
Do you think the truth is, like you're saying that because seeking the truth is work? It takes work to find the truth and live by the truth?
Yeah, so it takes, a
little bit of effort.
And people will say, well, truth, that's all subjective.
No, it's not.
It's not, right? Mm-mm. So in my opinion, what's truthful and what's just and right is all about like suffering and like avoiding suffering and not being oppressive. What was that?
We saw that fall out of your nose.
There's a little flake that just came out of your nose.
Yeah, I've had it.
Some booger sugar?
And no.
A sugar
Never
booger.
that. It's always hairs, dude. The older you get, the more nose hair you get.
Yeah, but
My bad.
what were we saying?
Yeah, we're talking about truth, and my point was it's really not subjective. It can be objective as long as you define it in terms of like what's just and what's fair. And I don't know, where were we going with this? We were talking about...
Oh, just because you're saying that behind the darkness is the truth. And I'm just like, is that because...
Oh, okay.
Because you have to work for the truth.
Oh,
you
we're
have
talking
to,
about secret societies and stuff.
Yeah, but you have to find the truth. You have to... It just seems like everything in life is worth it, is you have to work for it. You have to go through hell.
Yeah.
The what is it? I heard the saying this week, the path to paradise is paved in hell. Mm-hmm. That was actually Liver King who said that.
Liver King?
Yeah, but yeah. The path to paradise is paved in hell. Uh-huh. You have to go through fucking bullshit to be good, I think.
So all these so-called celebrities that have gone through that darkness of joining cults, can you really blame them for...
Oh yeah, well see, that's a whole different thing than like the Hollywood cult and the whole idea of like producers and directors having control over who gets in and who doesn't. That's a completely different thing than like occultism or esoteric.
Yeah, when you say like Hollywood cult, I think of Epstein.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Yeah, see, it's more like that kind of stuff, and that's real darkness.
It's evil.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I don't think it. I think it's a result of us not valuing the right things. We grow up and we're taught that being famous is a good thing, and that if you're not popular, then you don't have value as a person. And I think that's all just backwards. I think a lot of it is just like like a lack of leadership for young people. Like, we're just taught to worship people who come out on the screen, and all they're doing is giving us a fake depiction of life, telling a story. But why do we value that so much in our culture? I think
social media, though, is doing a good job of exposing those people for the frauds that they are.
Well, yeah, but also social media just creates a whole different branch of it in terms of, like, are you TikTok famous? Are you this? Are you that? A lot of people, they get their self-worth tied up in, like, how many followers they have, how popular they are.
That's a wild thing, man.
I think it depends on what tool you have in front of you and how you use it, because the people that knew how to use television are now getting exposed because the people that know how to use the social media side of things know how to better themselves in that area, where the people that, because television is disappearing now. So the ones that were gaining themselves in that era are starting to, like, expose themselves. Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So
social media is bad for all those people, man.
Yeah.
Because they're pieces of, they see how weird and out of there.
So they're putting themselves out there? They're exposing themselves?
See them. You see, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing these celebrities who are like old school celebrities. Mm-hmm. You're seeing them do podcasts and post.
Yeah.
And then you're like, these people have no idea what reality really is. Get them the fuck out of here. Like, nobody gives a fuck. I don't think people give a fuck about that anymore, which is good. You shouldn't give a fuck about that bullshit. But you should also, like, I also believe that if you're good at that, then you should do that. Go do that. Who cares what you believe in? Who cares what you're doing at home? If you're a good actor, go be a good actor, man.
It's just the way, like, right now, like, even people like Rogan and all the podcasters, like, they're at a good level right now. But think about 20 years ago, like, that's what Howard Stern was.
Yeah.
And then now that's Rogan.
Now he's a bitch.
Yeah. But who knows, like, what the future is going to look like. Like,
the snake pit.
I'm trying to work hard because I listened to people who explain why Rogan was good. And one of the reasons why he was so good is because he was onto things early.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what's the next thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what the next thing is. I do think I've said it. I think the next thing is being networks. We're going to be networks where we produce our own movies and shows and everything.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that's real. Twitch, maybe. I don't fucking know.
It's all going to be in our head.
Yeah. Even if you don't know what the next thing is, what has always been the thing is being talented and being skilled in multiple things.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes you interesting as a person, is going through the struggle, like you were saying, going through hell. What does that mean? That means having to overcome difficult situations, right? And so what does that do? When you overcome a difficult situation, you gain a lot of experience. There's a quote that says, smooth seas don't make skilled sailors.
Yeah, I know your upbringing was vastly different than mine.
Uh-huh.
So what was
my whole experience was
like when I say that, they're like, well, no, I'm like, when I say you have, the road to paradise is built in hell.
Yeah.
Like, what was your hell? What is your hell?
Growing up, it was just being alone.
What is your life, though? Your life is, it's not the same as it is. So, sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're fine. I just want to understand your question.
Was it your upbringing, your hell that you had to go through?
Okay, so my hell is loving people who don't love themselves. Family members, mostly.
Do you feel obligated to?
Yeah.
I've never felt that way.
Yeah, I did.
I really don't even love. That's the reason why I don't love a lot of, not even just family members, a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's because my upbringing was different.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really have a home, I guess. I lived with a bunch of different relatives. And so you gain tighter bonds with people when you're suffering with people. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It's weird for me to say that. I feel like I missed out on that.
No, it's okay. It's good.
That family, like, you built like that.
Those things,
because it was forged in the fire, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that, I feel like I really credit because I don't ever want to sound like a victim or anything. If I'm telling you about things that were difficult, it's just so you can understand that I'm relatable and just know the real me. You get what I mean? It's never, to sound like poor me or anything, because I'm grateful for everything that I went through. But to answer your question, the suffering and the hell, in my opinion, it comes down to not having the right perspective and not having enough emotional and physical stability to be able to appreciate what life really is, in terms of like the joy that's to be found here, the happiness, the things that are available if we could take care of ourselves and if we could focus on the right things, because those things are always there. It's just a matter of if we have the eyes to see it and appreciate it, right? So to me, hell is seeing paradise all around you and not being able to enjoy paradise because of your fucked up relationships or because somebody broke your heart or somebody abused you when you were younger. That's hell. And that's really is hell. That's life for a lot of people. Yeah. That's why you got to heal.
Could hell, do people mistake when it comes to hell where we think it's, don't get me wrong, there is a lot of suffering here going on today. Mm-hmm. But what if our hell is realizing in the afterlife the potential of what we could have had? Yeah.
That to me is hell. That's the true hell right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Dying with all that wasted potential.
But also it's like, okay, how do we know that what we thought was so valuable and so much are the things that we should have been valuing? Like, for example, if Rattlesnake Roy never gets 1 million subscribers, is that failure or like, let's say he did get 1 million subscribers and let's say he went off the rails and killed himself. Was that success? Do you get what I mean? So,
some people would say Kurt Cobain was a success.
Right.
It's all perspective, I guess. Yeah. Sort of question.
It's like, what do you value? What is it? What's your definition of success, right? Yeah. If you're here to influence people and you see that platform as like a way to reach as many people as possible, and you do that in a positive way, then, and even if it ends tragically, then I think you were still successful.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess when it comes to that, we all have our own type of hell where...
Yeah, I think no matter who you are, you go through something.
Yeah. Because, you could have all the riches in the world. You could have the biggest house. But, if you didn't have the family you ever wanted, I guess for some people, like if they didn't have the daughter or son they ever wanted and it was just them in their big house and then they died, what was the purpose of life?
And a lot of it is, okay, how did you get that big house? How did you acquire all those resources? Well, a lot of wealthy people are self-driven people. So in order to accumulate that much resource, you have to focus and you have to be a selfish person. Something's got to give. You never find the happily married person who's also very wealthy.
Yeah.
Daddy's gone, daddy's at work, daddy's traveling all the time in those situations. So it's like, okay, if you can become generationally wealthy and sacrifice all your relationships in the process, but the generations that come after you get to benefit from it, is that success? Is it worth it? What do you value? Do you value relationships or do you value stability and that kind of thing? It has to be a balance of everything.
I think about that because I'm like, that's what I want.
Generational wealth?
Yeah, because I want to... That to me, that's a form of immortality. You're going to live forever because you were the one who... You were the guy who started it all. And you're going to live on.
But then you also have to question, look at the empire that it's built upon.
Yeah.
The Federal Reserve of the United States. And so really think about that.
People.
The average empire lasts 250 years, man. That's not looking good for us. That's my point, though, is like, if that's what you value, and let's say you put all your money and you invest it and then the stock market crashes, there's a big recession coming, by the way, 2023.
Yeah, it's coming. It's already started.
Like you could throw away everything to try to pursue that and it could fall. Yeah. It could all fall apart.
Sometimes I wish I was ignorant and lived just an ignorant, blissful life because I know all these things. It's never that easy. It's never you you can climb your way to the top, but you can be the only one there, and it's like, was it worth it to be eternal glory? Was that fucking worth it? I struggle with this every day because I'm like, damn, I want that. Damn, I really do. But damn, I love my family and I love Jen and I love you guys. And sometimes you got to get rid of all of that to get there. Sometimes you don't. You know, I don't know what that fucking path is like. I'm trying to fucking build that path every day. I'm like, fuck. But every day for me, it's like, I can't hang out with this person or I can't hang out with Jen because I got to do this. So every day it's like, fuck. I see what that leads to sometimes.
That's what they call sacrifice.
Yeah, I see that. Like that.
Yeah.
Why a lot of those men are.
I tried to limit that a lot.
Yeah, that's my hell. Actually, speaking of, that's my, that is my hell.
It's just like listening to what, like my mom has said, because she's very religious too.
Catholic?
Yeah. But I guess like in some ways she believes that, because in the afterlife, we love each other like now on this earth, but just think of like married couples. It's like when we have gone, like I think in some ways we'll connect in the afterlife, but it's not going to be the way it was here on earth. Like we're not going to love each other like sexually. It's just going to be like eternal, like love. But I don't know. Like sometimes that's hard for me to wrap my head around. Oh, yeah. Where, cause how come, someone that you love here on earth, it's through, physical touch and that's how we feel. But in the afterlife, we're not going to experience that.
Who knows? Maybe we do. Maybe we go through a few rounds of
reincarnation
somewhere else. I mean, that's what I've heard, and I believe that. Like, you can't pick your family, so I think we're all bonded by something weird, like family, anyways.
What's y'all's thoughts on what's it called?
Reincarnation?
Yeah, reincarnation.
I find it really interesting because whenever you look into a lot of the ancient cultures and ancient religions, it's kind of a common theme. And not to talk about psychedelics all the time, but a lot of people's deep psychedelic experiences involve like feeling reincarnation or even living past lives during their tripping. So there's a lot of belief based around it.
For a long time, it's been that way, huh?
Yeah, it's a lot of cultures. It's one of the oldest beliefs, and I can kind of understand why. I don't know. The human brain is so complex; it's hard to know if those memories that people are feeling are from their DNA, because they've even proven. I don't know how. I'm not a fucking scientist, but trauma and things like that get passed down through your DNA, and it even will damage your DNA.
Well, that's kind of a crazy concept to think about when. As children, you're scared of the dark. You're scared of the monsters that are under the bed.
Right.
Because why? Because
inherited fears.
There were, when we were, I don't know if you believe if we were monkeys, but, like
it's not a belief. That's not a belief.
But like at the dawn of man, before we had weapons, we feared the wildcats and the coyotes and the wolves that were out there.
Just looking at animals, they're bored and they could. I think they did that with birds, or some animal. They did that experiment where they did something to the animals, and then they like tortured them in a way, and then their kids are scared of whatever the fuck, whatever the fuck that they were.
Right. So this was my point to bring it back to reincarnation. Is what if what we're experiencing in this life and these memories that we have that we don't understand why, and there's familiarity that we don't understand. Like why does this feel familiar to me? Why am I drawn to these types of things? How do we know that it's not just the memories that were passed down from our great grandparents, ancestors? Every time you get reproduced, those memories are passed on.
What if it's just the consciousness of Earth itself? Well, the Earth itself.
I'm going to speak on that for a minute because I was in Gale, Texas on Friday? So Wednesday, I was in Gale, and out there it's all like the terrain is. It's like it's the same as Post in this whole area, whatever the South Plains.
Yeah.
and I feel very connected to that area,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that area, and I can show you the message. I texted Jen. I was like, I feel connected on an ancestral level to this area. I do think my ancestors were in this area, and I was like, I even texted her. I was like, bury me here. Like, I want to be buried in this area because
crazy.
I feel very connected to the land here. I love the mesquite. I love the canyon. The little. I'm like, I want to die here. That's what I thought when I was there. I was like, this is where I need to rest for eternity.
Bitten by a rattlesnake.
So whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'm like,
Yeah,
man,
you got to get bit by a rattlesnake.
But there's something. There's something that can. Yeah, I mean, there's something that connects me to this, and I think it is that like.
Yeah.
Something in our. But I also believe we are born the same person every time. I don't think it's.
It's like you're a different person.
I think we're going through this life all at once. What is that? Everywhere. I think we're everything's happening all at once. Past, present, and future is happening right now.
See, that's
well,
crazy.
y'all.
I do believe that, and that's why I do think the only thing that really matters, but even if it doesn't, is the moment now. Nothing really matters but now, because it's always happening now.
But what if there is a chance? Because I've even made my mom mad, but by saying this, but I don't think she understand what I was truly trying to say. Like, what if there is a chance where, we live our life, and then when it comes to an end, like that really truly is it?
Yeah, there definitely is a chance of that. Because
what can you do though?
Think about this though. This, and I've probably said this lots of times on here, but okay, where were you 37 years ago?
Wasn't born.
Yeah, so you've already not existed for eternity.
Yeah.
Up until that point, eternity had gone on before you were even, sperm cell meeting the egg. So we've already not existed forever. And then we get to pop into existence for this brief moment in time, contemplate it all, and then we're gone again. So the thought of it all having no meaning, that's definitely a possibility. But, my favorite quote of the meaning of life is to give life meaning.
Yeah. Because nothing does matter, though. In the grand scheme, nothing really does matter.
Whatever you want to matter will matter.
Yeah.
Well, and I've told this to Roy, too. Like, just think, like, if your parents had waited just 1 minute to conceive you.
If your dad would have got a blowjob instead.
Yeah, you would have been a completely different person now.
Did y'all listen to that new Neil deGrasse Tyson?
With Theo Vaughn?
No, I didn't.
The chances of you being alive are just
exactly
insane.
And think about that going back all the way back to the very beginning. Like, think about all the times your grandpa had to get laid.
Yeah.
Only 100 billion people have ever existed. Yep. We were one of them. It's an insane.
It's insane to think about that. We all have a common origin.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is when I die, I would like to hopefully be presented the truth of it all. I think that'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty nice.
Just think, like, people that have been in power that I don't even know where I'm going with this, but just think of people that have been in power and like they're so obsessed with power where we've talked about like people that I think that have spread their seed, like they think in some ways where that is the way they live forever by spreading their seed.
That is the way you live forever.
Yeah.
That's the way you live on anyways.
Yeah.
Is by passing on your.
So you think we're just a big mix of all our ancestors put into one?
Exactly, but I think
like
we've lost sight of that because of modern life.
Yeah.
I think older people were more connected to that than we are. It would be pretty nice to know where I come from. And
it starts to feel like I'm in a fishbowl sometimes.
I ain't gonna lie. There's been times when I was like tripping hardcore where I really felt like my ancestors were with me somehow.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to explain it.
That's how I felt when I was out there.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I was out there. I'm not lying. I think people can experience it in different ways.
I've experienced a hallucination where I was basically walking through a tunnel with my ancestors as giants kind of on each side of me. And they were basically giving me their affirmation and telling me that I'd come to a checkpoint in life and that I was doing well and that I needed to continue on the same path. It was really intense.
I want to talk about what you said, power for a minute, because I've been watching Andor, which is about the fall of the Empire in Star Wars, which isn't. But it's been. I don't even know where I'm going to go with this, but I was thinking,
Is Andor good?
It's fucking awesome. You should watch it. Because I even told my stepdad this. I was like, because through watching this, I'm like, I could see how easily. I was speaking for myself, how easily I could be influenced to follow a maniac to do their bidding. I even so I was like, if Rogan said to do this, it's like I idolize Rogan and I idolize certain people, and if they told me to do certain things, I might be swayed to do things that you might deem as evil.
You drink the Kool-Aid.
And I've seen how easy. Now I'm starting to, as I've gotten older and I've watched the series, I've realized how easy it is to fall, just to fall from grace in a way. And I'm like, kind of tying it all back to what we were saying. I'm like, damn, dude, can you imagine influencing millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people?
Look at the conquistadors.
How easy it could be to tell them motherfuckers to do what you want, and it's not necessarily a good thing.
You know, I thought about
how impressionable I am.
I thought about this in terms of governmental influence.
It's all the same. You know, it's whatever you choose to believe in.
So what if artists started holding events where it was like, go vote for a certain person? And
Kanye exposed that with Kim.
Yeah.
She was being influenced by Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
With the vaccine. That's fact. So, I mean, I was thinking about how easy that. And I even told him this, and I was wondering how y'all think about it. I was like, how easy would it have been to be a German in Germany watching evil be done and not do anything about evil?
Yeah, I think
because I can understand evil being done, because if you're an evil person, you're going to do evil. But what if you were just a regular person watching this be done, and what would you do?
Well,
it's a hard thing to think about. It's not that easy to say. I would stand up against the Nazis or stand up against.
It's easy for me to say.
I don't know if it's that easy. Well, that's a tough thing to live by.
Even in Germany at that time, I was once curious. Because when it comes to Catholic Church, like I was always curious, like the German Catholics at that time, what were they thinking? And a lot of their attitudes were, well, maybe this is just God's plan.
Yeah.
Like, let's just wait it out and see what.
It's always God's will, no matter. Like, if they got killed, it was because they were
like that's an easy route
sinful.
to pick, though.
Yeah,
that's an easy.
But it's still.
I understand that.
But
like
still,
elementary logic.
It is.
But if something like that happens today, are we going to have the same attitude?
That's exactly what I'm thinking, though. Not necessarily that. But I'm like, what would we do?
I'll die. I know.
What would we do?
I'll get killed trying to do something.
We would all like to believe we would, but would we?
I've always wanted to die for other people. That's been like my biggest fantasy, was to be a hero.
I was thinking about that watching Andor, like how easily power can corrupt any of us, and how much I keep that on mind, because I'm like,
yeah,
I do want that. Not gonna lie. But
you want power?
Oh yeah, man. I'd love that. That's my favorite. That's what I'm working for, anyways. You can. I'll tell you that right now. But I'm like, I think I could do it for good. But how easily you could be corrupted to not be good anymore.
Well, like I was saying, think of the conquistadors, where they were just going country to country, spreading the so-called word, but what they were doing was they were
raping and pillaging.
But I wouldn't do that. Well, I understand what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. Well, what I'm saying is it always blows my mind to think that for who Jesus was, if you believe him or not, Jesus was someone that accepted who you were, and he had all these dinners with, the so-called whores at the time, the poor people. Like, he respected everyone. But I go back and forth with it. Was Jesus, like, what if he really was a real person and made such an impact where the people that were in power thought, like, okay, well, he's made such an impact, let's make that power ours, and let's just force it on other people, and that's how we could claim that power.
I think that happened, but over thousands of years. I don't think that happened that quick.
Yeah.
I don't think it happened overnight. Constantine, I think, was the one who professed Catholicism as the ultimate faith for Rome, and that was like 300 years after Jesus died. But one of my favorite things that your brother actually has shared on Facebook, it was kind of a meme thing, but I really enjoyed it. It was like Jesus said that we all have God in us, and that's why they killed him. And I was like, that makes. We all have.
Yeah, the Roman Empire, man, it's crazy. Basically, they saw Jesus as a political threat.
Well, he was,
because he had people following him, like thousands of people literally walking behind him.
I mean, because that's what Shane talked about.
He would get out in a boat.
Historically, like those people in that time were killing each other.
He would preach from a boat,
and he was preaching love and peace, and everybody's like, "What are you talking about?" Of course, he was going to be on the radar of the government. They were like, "What the fuck is this man doing?" They've done that throughout.
Well, even today, if someone had that much influence,
they did it to MLK.
Well, even
that was not that long ago.
Yeah, no matter who you are, if you have influence, like people go after you. I mean, even at a small level, like not comparing Joe Rogan to what Jesus is, but he had.
He's our
but when you have influence, people challenge it.
That's what I thought. Because again, I want that. I think about like, what kind of character do you have to be to not let? I don't think he's let that influence him. He's been fucking solid through it all. Like, you know, ultimately you're going to be tested, and that's a
sometimes I get
test, man.
I think the power aspect of that, it's all just a charade though, because look how easily you can be silenced.
He's the number one podcast in the world.
Yeah, not him.
Once they fuck with your money, it's over. Look at Alex Jones.
I mean, they tried to fuck with Rogan's money. They didn't do it now.
Yeah, true. But if they did, if Spotify has said,
I don't even think that would matter. He's still the voice of the people.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
He could just go completely independent at this point.
Exactly. But Alex Jones is different because he's crazy.
Yeah.
He fucking says crazy shit.
Yeah.
That's not even true sometimes.
Did y'all ever listen to InfoWars?
I listened to one with Kanye.
That's it?
No, not really, because I can't get behind him. He's too.
I did.
He's too extreme for me.
I did because when I was going to tech, I took a principles of journalism, and my professor absolutely hated Alex Jones. But looking into it, even though he didn't agree with a majority of what he said, there were still certain things that he had said ended up becoming true.
Exactly.
So sometimes
that's what's under.
But then again, no one's
frogs.
But no one's perfect.
Yeah.
He fucked up with Sandy Hook. Man.
Yeah, he fucked up
major. With
I can't. I'm not taking up from him for that. But still, like, you get that power once you fuck up once. Like it can be done just like that.
Yeah.
But I do honestly think that they got back at Alex Jones because of what he exposed at Bohemian Grove.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Because eventually...
That's why they threw $1 billion at him.
Because eventually, if you fuck with the wrong people, even if you think you get away with it, eventually they're going to come back around and get you.
Yeah, it's a surprise he's alive, honestly.
Yeah, true.
No, that's the way they're going to get him. That's the way they got him.
$1 billion,
That's
dude?
the way they got him. $1 billion. He's not going to be able to pay that back.
He's on the move to Lubbock.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Did y'all know the Liver King went to Tech?
No.
Who? The Liver King. He went to Tech.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's from
crazy.
like Central Texas. He went to Tech.
That.
That's
fellow alumni.
How long ago did he graduate?
He's 39, so
okay,
maybe 29 years ago.
Shit.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't see how they're making that such a big deal that he's on steroids.
Because he said he wasn't. Because he's a liar.
Oh, he said he wasn't?
Yeah, he denied it.
So who busted him? How did he get popped?
Emails. Somebody exposed his emails from his early days with his doctor.
Okay.
Given his regimen. But he released an apology video that I watched and I really did enjoy. And I kind of do respect him more. I do.
Okay.
I'm just saying. But yeah, I forgot. I was going to say that.
Isn't The Rock on steroids too?
Everybody at that age, everybody should be on steroids at that age.
He eats pancakes.
The older you
on a
get,
she day.
the older you get, your hormones just don't work the same.
That's true.
I mean, just to keep that muscle for all these years, that's tough.
No, of course, everybody knew he was. It's just a lying that was like, why are you lying about it? But
yeah.
He admitted it. Enough of the Liver King, though, because I don't want to talk about it no more. But shout out to him. Yeah, man. These are things I think about, though. I think about corruption, power, truth, like what it means to be
But that's our history.
a truth teller in the time, or to be like you're saying, like you could go Hollywood and make a lot of money, but you're not you.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody in Hollywood is truly themselves.
Yeah.
And that's like,
In some way, you really do give up yourself to become someone.
yeah, man. And I don't know. I
But
personally,
see, not podcast influencer, but a podcast personality. That's like it's a whole new thing, right?
I love it because we were talking about that earlier. Like you're entirely you. And the moment people try to influence you, it's like you can't get behind that. Personally, anyways, I would never want to have a producer that was like, "You can't say that." Like, nah, man, we're gonna say that. You gotta be
Authentic.
and sometimes being authentic means you're not gonna make money for a long time. Us, but that's all right.
So you think that if somebody who was looking to get behind us financially was to pull up a podcast, that they would find a lot of things that...
I don't even think it's that. I think they would just start telling us what to say.
Oh, okay.
At certain times, and hey, talk about this. I mean, I don't like that. I can't get behind that.
Right.
That's the whole point of this, is to not have...
It's pirate radio.
Yeah, you're supposed to just be authentically you.
Yeah.
Sometimes that doesn't work, though, and that's why I'm like, fuck, man.
You know what's
what do we
crazy,
do?
though? One thing that we have gotten really good at is doing exactly what you're talking about. And you can sense it whenever you watch other people's podcasts. You can tell who's like nervous or who's trying to put on a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're literally just sitting here having a normal ass conversation with no
Nothing.
awkwardness or uncomfortable feelings.
Well, that's what I was telling Roy, where there's just certain people that we know where they're acting like someone that they're not.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes it's hard for me to act with them.
Right.
Because like nowadays, so many people are considering themselves artists, which I don't want to take people's art away from them, but it's just the thought of them saying that, oh, I'm an artist. They think that they're a part of everyone else now. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
They want to be associated with artists, basically.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just certain people that we know that try too hard to be part of the cool gang. Yeah. But like, even for me, like, I mean, like, look, I'm like, for who I am, like, I just wear plain Dickie shirts and, Dickie pants and just regular shoes. I don't try to stand out a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And it's always hard for me to do that. And I've had friends call me out on it, but I'm not going to pretend like I'm someone else just so I could just say that I'm part of y'all.
Right.
But I don't know. I feel like for us, that's why we connect so well, because we're very different from each other. We don't pretend to be like one another. So we have our own unique personalities where we could just feed off each other.
And we're all confident enough in who we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's true. I never really thought of it like that.
Because I've seen so many friends groups where they all try to be like one another.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just, looking from outside in, they're just not interesting.
You can see it.
Yeah.
It's really transparent. Yeah, that's true. That's why this would be a lot harder, I guess, if I was younger. Because in reality, you don't really have shit to talk about when you're young. You're figuring things out, unless you're just giving commentary on current events and pop culture and stuff. I feel like, and I'm not talking about y'all's age. I just mean like, if
you're like 22.
20, yeah.
Yeah, what the hell? What are they going to talk about?
I'm glad that I never had any recordings of me from those times. I don't know what I would be saying. But now it's just easy to be comfortable and confident because I know who I am. And I feel like I've had a pretty good amount of life experience, but I also understand that I haven't had all of it. There's still so much more life to be lived, dude. But yeah, you see right through those people who are trying to be something that they're not. And everybody just wants to be accepted at the end of the day, you know, and then so it comes off as like desperation.
Yeah.
That's the most unattractive thing, desperation.
Yeah, I wonder if our authenticity, actually it is, because the podcast me and Chris did, where we were talking about suicide, really hit home for a lot of people.
Did it?
So yeah, it was like, you know, whatever. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to people. You know, there's no benefit in lying to motherfuckers, even if they don't like what I'm fucking saying. So
Yeah.
you gotta just be here, be the truth, speak our truth. You know, I think that's what we do every week. We speak our truth.
Yeah.
Even if people don't like it, that's
Yeah.
up to them.
And you know, the truth is, everybody has ups and downs.
Yep.
Not everybody's doing great all the time mentally. Not everybody's doing great all the time financially. One thing that I do try to do though is keep the dark stuff or the difficult things I'm dealing with away from my friends.
Yeah.
You know?
I get that.
And I'm not saying, okay, obviously if you're gonna talk to somebody about difficult things, of course it would be one of your friends. But I guess I'm just so used to dealing with shit on my own. And y'all seen me down, don't get me wrong, like I've had my moments. And I'm sure there's even a few podcasts where you could probably tell that I was dealing with something. But my point is, coming together and being honest, but also being optimistic.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the key, is optimism. Everybody has ups and downs, but if you remain optimistic through your downs, then you're a lot more graceful. And it's a lot easier whenever you're recovering and you're on the way up, for people not to look at you sideways like, oh, weren't you just fucking going through some shit? It's like, no.
Yeah. Even going through hard shit, especially for me, sometimes it could be hard for me to focus because the last time I saw you, I was telling Roy, because, you know, we did a podcast that day. Like I was truly not feeling it. Like I had trouble focusing. Like I don't know what it was. Roy would ask me a question.
The time I stopped over here randomly.
Yeah,
it was Monday.
I would start talking, and then like as I'm talking, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I was just going
stress.
Well, I think it was more like 2 weeks ago I had almost lost my dad. And I was like in the hospital like all day and all night kind of thing. Yeah. So I came here, you know, to like kind of let go a lot of that stress. But I kind of went on a hiatus because it was like 2 weeks before we did a podcast. And I thought I was just going to go back right into it. And it's not how it played out.
Yeah.
And I was just so stressed. Like I didn't tell Roy that I was stressed. I just came because, you know, I wanted to help out.
Yeah.
But I was truly not focused and I wasn't making sense. And I even told Roy, I was like, look, I'm sorry about that last episode. Like I was truly like embarrassed because
you're out of it.
I was just out of it.
Yeah. It was, if you pay attention, it was noticeable, but
yeah,
I
but
think it was good for you.
Think about how many times you've been on.
That is true.
I look at it like it was good for you because I mean I knew you were going through that. I was like, but you need the reps.
Yeah.
I think that's the testament of a true professional.
Yeah,
like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, I know that's kind of tough to say and hard. People probably take it like a different way, but I'm like, no, you need to be here and doing it, even if you don't feel like it was the best. Maybe it wasn't. That's not up for me. I don't give a fuck. That was on Monday. Yeah. We've recorded 3 cents. I'm like, you need to be here.
Well, I remember that night, it almost felt like I had like the 1,000-mile stare where I was here.
Yeah.
But mentally, I was somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Like the podcast was going on. I'm sure you could look back at the podcast. I wasn't there.
You're out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it was evident because you brought it up Wednesday.
Yeah.
I was like, no, man, whatever. That was Monday.
Yeah.
You know,
but
it is what it is.
But even with that, like, you know, when we do this, I like to be on top of my game.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm not on top of my game, Like I feel
Makes you
bad.
feel bad.
I feel bad about
Well,
it.
I hope people
Yeah, me too.
listen to this and really, that's not going to happen every time, though. You're not going to be on top of your game. Like, life happens.
Yeah.
And even the best you can do is, like, because I've had those I've done fucking 200 of these. I've had those moments where it's
Yeah.
like, the best way to me, in my honest opinion, is just to do it. Because the next day you're like, all right,
True.
I'm better tomorrow. I'm just saying I'm glad you did it because I knew you were going through that. I was glad you were here though.
Yeah.
I think you needed to be here.
And then
I really do.
And on top of that, I had the flu. So it was a rough 2 weeks. I'll say that.
Yeah,
gonna have that.
You're down.
You're gonna have that. Jen's gonna have that. I'm gonna have that. We're gonna be here for years and years. You know, we're gonna have that.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna go through that. But, I mean, the fact that you're talking about it, people are gonna probably know now. But whatever.
Yeah, now I want to go watch and see.
I haven't released it yet.
I want to
but
go see just so I can see how fucked up Bradley looks.
He was stumbling on his words, but that's all right. You're
Yeah.
there. That's what I told you. Like, you're here. It doesn't matter. You're here. If you're here, that's all that matters.
Yeah, sometimes I watch these and I see how drunk I am.
Yeah,
I'm not always drunk, but you can tell when I am.
I'm drunk right now. I don't know. You know, the only thing to me, like, that's the guy who puts it on is like, only thing that matters is you're here.
Yeah.
Because if you got to get through it.
Well, and sometimes I beat myself up so much because there's so much that in my mind, I know what I'm saying, but when I'm speaking it out, it's a different thing.
Yeah, man.
It's just, you know.
That's podcasting.
Yeah.
Getting the words from your brain to your
That's
mouth
podcasting, man.
Well, yeah.
and out there into the universe.
But I think when I'm explaining something, I really stumble and I don't know how to end it because I just think, well, they're not understanding what I'm saying, so I'm just going to over explain the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
So
This is what you do. You just say, you know what I'm saying? And it's very rare that you say, you know what I'm saying to somebody and they say, no, I don't know what you're saying. Usually they're like, even if they don't know what the fuck you're talking about, they're like, yeah, I know what you're saying. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Man.
Chris be like, in the NBA, you think they all have their own, like, he'll just like keep going.
God bless that boy. Golly, God bless him. He's getting his podcast feed. God bless him.
Do you think DJ Khaled is like eating right now? He'll say some
That's
weird
'cause
shit.
You know why he's like that, because you guys be doing other shit. But yeah.
Yeah, man.
No,
I'm sure we all have our things.
it's easy to fucking talk about it afterwards, but I'm glad
Yeah.
you fucking did it. That's more than a lot of people. Man. That's me every week, though.
This seems so chill, bro. It's like we're not even recording.
I forgot we were. What are we at anyway?
50.
No, we good.
I feel like we've been talking longer.
Yeah,
Man,
it's been good.
It's in a
I feel really present.
Yeah. These
In the
last few
moment.
episodes have been pretty good.
Yeah.
It's
Talking
interesting
about
getting
shit.
getting feedback from people because
I kind of don't want to listen to it.
you don't want to listen to the
Nah,
feedback,
not really.
the positive stuff too.
Not even any of
Yeah.
that. Like, yeah,
I'm not comfortable with it.
I ain't either.
I'm the worst at taking compliments.
I fucking hate it. Especially me too when it comes to this. I'm like, oh, thank you, man. I don't know what the fuck to
I don't
say.
believe people when
I don't
they
either.
compliment.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's like a joke. I'm like, all right.
Are you being sarcastic?
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I'm like, fuck.
No, I don't know. One thing I will say is anytime I've gone back and watched, it always seemed better rewatching than what it felt like in the moment. You know what I mean? Even
course.
like the awkward moments, things like that.
Well, I think a lot of times, especially family, they don't know how to take this. Because, I mean, we know podcasts, but they're used to, a lot of my family's used
TV
to
shows,
TV shows, old
sitcoms.
Overly
school
produced
radio.
Yeah.
Like, him and my uncle. And my uncle was like, it goes off the rails, but that's not a bad thing. Like, you just got to keep on, working at it.
Yeah, man. I love doing this shit, though. It's fun.
Oh yeah,
It's super fun.
So simple too. It's simple in theory and it's simple in practice.
It really is like, but that can be dangerous
Yeah.
sometimes. I think. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm grateful for you, man. I'm
Here's
grateful
the
for
fart.
you and Bradley. I'm grateful that I could just show up here and talk my shit, not have to produce anything at all.
There's not much production behind this. Not gonna lie to you guys.
Well, now there's not.
Nah, not really.
Even if it
It's
was
a well-oiled machine by this time.
even if it was highly produced, like I don't even think we could talk like this. Like imagine we
That's
had
what
three
I'm saying.
but imagine we had 3 cameramen and then people like in the sound, working sound. Like it'd be different.
Wait a minute though. That's kind of the goal. Eventually,
That
to be
is.
kind of towards that.
Yeah, but to like
I get what you're saying.
yeah.
But
So
they're gonna be
produced.
everybody that's gonna be working is gonna be on board.
because Tom
with what we're saying.
Segura has it down.
That's exactly who I was thinking about. So that's what I mean.
But
Something like that.
but they're a part of it.
Yeah.
Because like especially at Tom Segura's like your mom's house, like people in the back are laughing.
Yeah.
Like it's a part of it. But to have people like doing it as just a job,
No, it'd be that's
Yeah,
what I mean.
it'd
Dude,
be-
Christina is podcast gold.
Do you think she's hot? I love her.
I don't think she's hot,
I think she's hot.
but I think that her personality is
I'm
attractive.
highly sexually attracted to Christina Brzezinski.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I love her
You mean like physically? I guess I never really checked her out physically.
physically and mentally and psychologically and whatever.
Psychologically, yeah. her-
but
To me, she's one of the most brilliant comedy minds ever.
I
I
love
just
her.
love her. I love the way that she thinks. I love how witty she is and how quick she is. And I know that my mind's kind of twisted, and I feel like my mind's kind of twisted in the same direction that hers is.
me and my brother have been obsessed lately with your mom's house clips when they're talking about Garth Brooks.
it's funny.
That shit's
Go look at his fucking Instagram. It's so funny.
Dude, it cracks me up.
We're watching their live show on the 9th. I think that's next Friday.
Uh-huh.
Jen's house, if y'all want to be.
Next Friday on the 9th,
Yeah, we're gonna be at Jen's house
send me a
watching.
reminder when it gets closer.
We watch it. We've watched every one of them since the second one.
I always tell myself I'm not going to go, but I end up going.
You're gonna go. It's fun.
Who's supposed to be the guest?
Bobby Lee.
Oh, okay.
So it's gonna be.
Oh man, that's gonna be good.
Because the
I like
last
Bobby.
Tim Dillon was the last one, right?
Yeah.
And then Rogan.
Rogies sucked.
Rogan kind of made it his.
Rogies and the one before that one was they were live at like a comedy festival and it's kind of sucked too.
Yeah.
So this one will be good.
They're at Skankfest.
No, it was Austin. Oh, it was at South by Southwest.
Oh, okay.
They did some shit for South by Southwest, but they did it in a theater and it kind of sucked.
Uh-huh.
And then Rogies came on. He made it his. He was bored.
He was
So fucking bored.
talking about life and death and shit like
Yeah,
that.
he just made it the JRE.
Did he really?
Yeah, and then Tim Dillon was pretty good. That was a fun one.
Even though he was wearing a Longhorn shirt.
Yeah. Whatever the fuck.
Uh-huh.
It broke my heart. But I had to buy him it because he likes that stupid ass fucking team. I don't understand it.
It is what it is.
Their basketball team's looking pretty
They're number
good.
2. And the
Houston's number 1.
Houston,
wild.
Kansas number 9, Baylor's somewhere up there in the top.
They dropped us out of the top 25.
They did, didn't they? You've been going to those games. How they been?
Pretty good, man. We're getting a lot better.
Did you go to the Georgetown?
Yeah.
So you saw Patrick Ewing as the
Yeah, but I didn't know it was Patrick Ewing.
Oh,
until
really?
afterwards, yeah.
man. Yeah.
Hero was like, that guy over there is humongous. Like, yeah, he is. He's a big ass guy.
Did they beat us?
No, we beat them. We got out to like a 20-point lead, and then after the second half, they came back and made it a 2-point game.
But we won.
But we held on, yeah. Bacho has gotten a lot better. Our big guy, he's like a 7-footer.
But historically, Georgetown
Aren't they
is
like
that's like one of the
highly
best.
ranked? Like they go to the national championship type?
Yeah, they won national champions. They've been the Final Fours. Georgetown historically as a basketball program is like
Yeah.
legendary.
Yeah, I like going to all the tech games, man. It's just something to do,
So you didn't end up going to the lights?
No.
Damn. I saw the fireworks going off as I was going the first Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Like, damn, that was cool.
We were going to go, and then the plans changed, man. I'm glad that we didn't go, to be honest with you.
Well, boys, I think this has been a good pirate radio.
Yeah?
Yeah,
It's time to put a bow on it.
Yes, sir.
think so.
We'll do lawn chair tomorrow morning if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a haircut at 10. I can do it before or after.
Let's do it after.
Cool.
Alrighty, guys. This has been Pirate Radio. I hope you
Thanks for
guys have
tuning in,
been
you guys.
joining in. We've getting reviews, so thank you.
Yeah, if you really want to support, throw a comment down in the comment section.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not asking for much, y'all. Bradley, you got anything to say? Anything you want to tell these heathens out there?
Keep a lookout. I'm gonna start my film soon, so
Bradley's going to be in a porno. Keep your eyes open for that.
always
I'm just kidding.
way to go.
Peace, y'all.
All right, guys. We'll see ya.